Interview horror stories. Okay, so if you are either waiting to hear from a school or have an interview scheduled, maybe skip this video. I know that sounds kind of crazy. I love that you're here, but I also don't want to stress you out. But if you've already had your interview and you want to reflect back, or it's way in the future, stick around. What I'm here to talk to you today about is those horror stories. And they happen when you have, honestly, a terrible interviewer, someone who wants to grill you in a very unprofessional way or seems very distracted, is not listening to you. I wish I could say these things don't happen, but they do. I know this because I've had clients report things back to me. One client shared how an interviewer asked for 5 weaknesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I've got stuff to work on, but quickly identifying 5 weaknesses would be tough. And then once she did, he then asked for another and another. And she was completely demoralized from that experience. I've also had clients report when the interviewer is clearly watching something on their phone, they're not at all engaged, or they're not listening. So if that happens to you, know that it happens. Number 2, I also want you really to think of, okay, how much really does that change what I communicated? Remember that the business school interviews are really all just one part of the process. And my belief is for those schools who do not rely on really well-trained interviewers, it's likely not that high stakes. But still, you're in kind of a really unfortunate situation, I don't want to lie. So my 2 other points are, think about reaching out to the school and letting them know. State the facts. Ask if it's possible to have another interviewer. Definitely reach out to Gatehouse if you're unclear if your interview situation qualifies for such a thing. It can be tricky, but you really do want to make sure you're being given a fair shake. And then the last point, think about adding more schools to your list. I know that is terrible and sort of says, okay, maybe things didn't work out at that school. But my biggest thing is to make sure you have enough options at the end of this process. And so it might make you feel better to just put another school on the list. And honestly, you might have a bad taste in your mouth after having a bad interview. So that's just more reason to put another school on the list. But don't worry, it happens. Definitely reach out to us if you have questions, if you're unclear on how to proceed. And I really hope none of you have this experience that I'm talking about. And I'm wishing you luck.